In my last video, I told you guys how I was making $10,000 a month as a high schooler, and I gave you guys the exact method on how you can go and get started literally today. But today's video is a little bit different because a lot of you guys have been asking me, what do I do for work now? Obviously, you haven't seen any videos of me recently scrubbing roofs, so what is it that I actually do and how do I make my money? Before we get into it, I just want to preface, I don't really have a degree. I have like a high school diploma. I never really went to college. I went to college for like about a month and a half, and in the middle of my first midterm, I literally got up and quit school. That's a story for a different time. And I also don't come from money. Now, obviously my family did well for themselves in their own respective countries, but making a good bit of money in the Middle East and being able to maintain a lifestyle there does not mean you can replicate the same thing here in the Western world. Now, the reason why I preface all of this is because I'm about to share with you everything that I have personally built since the start of my social media journey. Now, the reason why I mention all of this is just to make it clear that I was not handed anything in my life. Sure, obviously my parents took care of my education, but nothing beyond that. As soon as I graduated high school, every single bill, rent, car payment, everything was on me. I fully had to learn to take care of myself at the age of 18, but that's not even part of the story. I'm going to show you all of the projects that I worked on that I helped make real money for, or I helped scale, or both. Just a little bit of context for those of you who don't know who I am or what any of my past jobs were. The summer right before I went into 12th grade, I decided to go to Vancouver for about 2 to 3 months to try to make some money there. I got a job at a restaurant in Vancouver, and I realized that all the money that I'm spending is just money that is keeping me alive. I got recruited onto a home exterior cleaning company sales team, and that's where they taught me everything that I needed to know about sales for about 1 month. Came back to the United States, and during my senior year, I implemented everything that I had learned in Canada, started my own company, hired a bunch of teens, paid them a shitload of money, and scaled the company to about $20,000 to $30,000 a month. Now, when I finished high school, I had to move back to Canada because I'm a citizen there, and I handed the home exterior cleaning company that I had built to the younger generation. I helped them secure leads for a couple months here and there, but other than that, they were kind of on their own. So this is where I went back and started working for the same company that had recruited me the year prior to it. These were the same people that taught me everything there is about sales and helped me build my own company in the United States and really put that financial freedom mentality in my head. Long story short, I worked with them for about a month. Everything is going absolutely amazing just like it did prior to it. I was making a shitload of money until they started inviting me to seminars and telling me I need to start helping them sell this trading crypto robot, like some AI shit that like basically can predict where the market goes. Fucking bullshit. It was a pyramid scheme. They had invited me into a pyramid scheme. I had gone to like 3 or 4 seminars, and they had sat me down and indoctrinated this whole scheme in my head. It was just like I was selling a product that I was so uncomfortable with and I knew had no value whatsoever. At least with home exterior cleaning, you're providing some kind of a service. Oh, at least the homeowner goes to sleep at night knowing their windows got cleaned or their gutters got cleaned out. I'm not gonna bore you with the rest of the story. This was again another huge turning point in my life where almost everything was taken away from me. Every single plan that I had for the future kind of relied on keeping this job and keeping my salesman position. For about a month, I genuinely felt lost. I had no idea what I was supposed to do. So I did what almost any kid would do, and I just signed up for some college. I guess not any kid would do that. You guys would probably have a better plan than me. But I walked into my whole adult life without really like a solid plan, so that was where it was biting me in the ass. I guess it worked out pretty well at the end. But anyways, I started learning marketing management. About a month and a half into the school year, I realized that my teacher is actually not really that knowledgeable, and the kids in my class, what am I saying, kids? Bro, everybody in my class was 30 years old. The thing with this school was you pay for classes. You pay for like a 16-week long term of classes. Like you pay $3,000 and anyone can pay $3,000 and come get a fucking degree in whatever this is. It's kind of like a trade school. And yeah, going back to what I mentioned at the start, we literally started our midterm. I went through the first half of the exam, and then there was a break, then the second part of the exam. I did the first half of the exam and I got a 16 out of 30. The instructor told us to go take a 10-minute break and come back. I obviously took that 10-minute break and never fucking came back. They called me so many times from that school. They sent me so many emails. I didn't respond. Again, another situation where I could have dealt with it a little bit better, but I just didn't want to be in school. Now, there is something that happened in parallel while I was going to school. Before I dropped out of college, I had been doing content for about 4 weeks. And the reason why I got into it is at the time I had 2 buddies that were doing social media and were making decent money from it. It was not too much money, but it was good money. It was definitely better than working at a restaurant job. So I decided I have nothing to lose. I tested out. I make a couple of videos videos here and there on how to do shit with your hair, how to like style your hair, how to get a proper skincare routine, how to dress better, how to smell better, all this type of content. And I was doing about 3 to 4 videos every single day for 3 weeks. And honestly, these videos started hitting left and right. I think I tapped into the self-improvement niche right before it blew up. And just right off the bat, the videos were getting like 50,000 views, 100,000 views, 200,000 views. Even some videos were getting 1 million views. I vividly remember this. As soon as I started social media, I got on the creator rewards program, which pays you for minute-long videos. This was when the creator rewards program was at its peak. So you were actually getting paid $1 per 1,000 views. Now you kind of get like 20 cents per 1,000 views. It's not really that great. I vividly remember this. The first payout I got from TikTok within the first month was about $4,282.53. The second month, which had just started when I quit school, I made $5,829.02. Now, obviously, keep in mind, this was not crazy money, but this is money that I made within the first 2 months of doing social media. I was literally in my room making 3 videos a day. Like, that shit took me like an hour and a half. So funny thing is, when I dropped out of college, I actually didn't tell my dad. I didn't really have to because I was paying for my own school, but he would call me every week and I'd be like, yeah, school's going great, man. I'm learning a lot. I'm doing this and doing that. And I vividly remember when I got the second payout, that $5,800, it was the same week where in 2 days I had gone up 30,000 followers. I called my dad and I was like, okay, this is probably a good time for me to tell you I quit college. And just like any normal responsible parent would, he fucking screamed my head off and sweared my head off for 10 minutes straight. I took it all in, not really saying anything. And then I showed him the amount of money that had hit my bank account. He's a numbers guy, right? You can't show him like your TikTok payout portal. Like, you have to show him your bank account. The exact money is in your bank account. I show him the money that's in my bank account and I tell him that I went up 30,000 followers in the past 2 days. There was legitimately, this sounds so cliche, like there was legitimately 20 seconds of silence on that phone call. My dad looked through those numbers and the next thing that he said is literally something that I feel like every son wishes their dad would say. And this is not something that my dad had told me a lot growing up, just because I was never the studious kind. Honestly, like, I was a fucking failure. That's really who I was. I was a genuine failure. Like, I was terrible at every sport that I played. I sucked at my studies. I was not a good kid, bro. Like, I was genuinely not a great kid. Like, I had good morals. I was a good person. It was just like, I was not making my dad proud. That's not what makes someone proud. For the first time in my life, my dad genuinely told me, wow, I'm actually proud of you. If I had gotten 30,000 followers in 2 days, I would also quit school. He legitimately said that shit. I could not fucking believe my ears. This sounds very cliche, but I swear to God, this story is as real as it gets. He genuinely said that, and I was in such disbelief. For once, I felt like I had actually satisfied my family. I had actually satisfied my dad, which was like a lifelong goal that I didn't know I had until he said it. That pushed me beyond my limits. The next couple of months with social media was out of this world. I was making a ridiculous amount of money for the amount of time that I was putting in. Now, it took me about 6 months to hit my first $100,000 month. Now, to almost every single person watching, $100,000 in 1 month just seems like something that's so unachievable. And honestly, I was in the same position. I thought 99% of people are capped at, I would say, maybe $12,000 to like $14,000 a month. Can't really go past that unless you're some fucking billionaire somehow. I don't know. I had a very limited mindset. I didn't really care about money either until I started making a shit ton of it, honestly. Now, I'm obviously not saying this $100,000 shit to flex on you. I'm just trying to show you what's out there because I had the same exact limiting belief that it's not possible for a kid to make that much money. And obviously, I'm not the only exception. You go on TikTok, scroll a couple videos, you will find a millionaire that is your age or maybe like 2 years older than you within 20 videos. Now, it's important to focus on the common denominator here. Where do you see all of these extremely successful young guys? You see them on social media. The common denominator here is social media. Just keep that in mind as we move through the video. So obviously, as soon as the social media journey began, since the first day, I knew attention and views always means that you can sell a product. Views means attention, and wherever attention goes, money flows. So I knew from day one, if I'm able to genuinely put out valuable content and put myself in an authority position, I will be able to monetize social media. Obviously, the first thing I tried out did not work out as well as I planned. It was a brand called Face Fresh. If you've been watching me for like over 2 years, you would probably know about it. I was basically getting hundreds of units of gua shas and face rollers and just different type of shit for your face, getting them shipped from China to my business partner's house, and we would ship those orders out to customers, whoever ordered it from my videos. Now, in total, in the entirety of the 4 months that we ran this business, we made about $30,000 in revenue. Counting profits, that's about maybe like $12,000. Not a lot of money, and the main issue was that I just didn't feel comfortable promoting gua shas and jade rollers. At the beginning, it seemed like something that would match my kind of content that I was making, but I didn't take into account that I actually had to make a good amount of videos on this shit. And honestly, I don't want my image to be the type of kid that just fucking doing this stone shit with his face every single day. So I decided to start building things that relate more to my personal brand. During this period, I was doing a good bit of brand deals, and unlike a lot of influencers, I actually knew my rate. Since the very beginning, I would charge over $2,000 per single video that I would post on TikTok and Instagram, and this helped me generate a lot of side money to focus on what I was actually building in the background. Also, $2,000 is nothing compared to these sponsorships that I got. As you can see, negotiating skills does take you pretty far. Now, this takes me to my first project, which helped me hit that $100,000 a month goal. And this project that I'm going to talk about is a project that a lot of you are familiar with, and that is called UMAX. Now, UMAX did about $6 million in revenue within its first year, and this was the actual first big heavy hitter that I got involved in. I was in charge of reaching out to notable influencers, making sure they post videos every single week and signing contracts and basically getting them on board to do promotional videos for our app. Now, the way this whole thing came along is actually pretty interesting. I had this guy named Blake Anderson in my Instagram DMs telling me about this app UMAX. I also had him reaching out from the UMAX account itself, hitting me up on my emails, and I was reading through it and I was like, dude, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Some face scanning app? I don't really like, this is probably another shill, some dude in my fucking emails. I used to get a lot of those. You typically get a lot of pitches on people wanting to partner with you when you have a lot of influence and you are getting a lot of quality views. That is typically what happened. People try to use you. But Blake Anderson was different. This guy was very persistent. He did not give up whatsoever. He hit up one of my buddies at the time, Lucas Pachter, and Lucas Pachter started texting me and telling me about this whole deal. And I explained to him that I didn't really feel comfortable posting some kind of an app that I don't really have control over. I don't really know like if this is something that I actually want to promote, that I'm comfortable promoting. Lucas told me something that taught me a very big life lesson that I keep dear to my heart to this day, and that is you're not missing out if you just give him 15 minutes of your time. 15 minutes of my time yet again flipped my life completely around. I got on call with Blake. He was very eager to bring me on. He initially wanted to give me cash to make a couple of videos. This was a stage where my brain was developing a little bit more. I was in the business niche. I had already made a decent bit of money, so I knew how to negotiate properly. I didn't want to make some $20,000 a month deal and get a quick cash grab. I wanted to actually be a part of something that I trust. So I gave him an offer that if he gives me a chunk of equity in the company, that I would do everything that he said, all the deliverables with like reaching out to influencers and making a couple videos. Obviously, as you can tell, that went very well. $6 million in the first year, and to this day, it gives me a very solid monthly salary. It's a very solid source of passive income. I don't have to really put more than 4 hours a month into it. It was one of the best moves I made so far. Shout out Blake Anderson, shout out Lucas Pachter. Now, throughout these past 2 years that I've been making videos, I've dabbled into different companies. I've gotten into different types of ventures. I've gotten out of them. I've made mistakes. I've seen success. But another business that actually caught my eye that I treated as a passion project is this car rental company that I have in LA. The way it works there, my position is just strictly a consultant and an investor. I've always liked the idea of having a big fleet of cars, so whenever I go down to LA, I can just pick and choose what I want to drive, and that's exactly what I do. I fund this company, I help them buy cars, and in turn, I get to drive these cars around whenever I want, and the best part about it is they're making me money. So I thought that was a pretty fun business to get into, but I can make a separate video about that if you guys are interested. So I've been doing a lot of side quests, especially in the past 6 months, and one mistake that I want you guys to take away from me and basically learn from this mistake is don't dabble into so many different ventures. Over the past 6 months, I've been getting a very weak response from almost every single venture that I get involved in. And that's because I'm almost jumping at every single opportunity that's shiny. It's like shiny object syndrome. Pick one thing that's gonna work. For me, that thing was content. Build one offer, something that people actually want. If you don't stop and you stay consistent and you're posting 3 times a day for 100 days straight, if that content is genuinely valuable and good, it is impossible that you do not see signs of growth. Most people run into the problem of building a product that they don't actually want to post about. Most people don't know how to gather attention and bring attention to one single product. And worse than all of that, a lot of you guys are buying courses and not even taking action on the course materials. The secret to my success is once I had a skill, I turned it into a product. I saw all of these videos getting so much attention, so many views, and I immediately thought, how can can I funnel this into something monetizable? How can I direct this attention into something that'll actually get me money? Because views and ad revenue does not make you that much money. It's really a 5-step routine. You need to make content that drives attention and brings the right people in to offer something that they want, whether it's fitness, coaching, whatever it might be. You find a system to sell this product consistently. That might be one short form winning video that you consistently run on ads. You might even have to work for free for your first couple clients just so you can secure testimonials. Keep this in mind, with proper testimonials, you can go from charging $1,000 a month to $4,000 to $5,000 a month. When people can see exactly what they're buying into, they are significantly more likely to convert. And step 5 is you just repeat this whole process until you scale. If you've already built something like a course or a coaching program or some type of service, but you're still stuck at $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month, me and my team take people who've already have an offer and we help turn your content into consistent $10,000 plus months. If you want to work with my team, just check the link below, or you can just watch the next video that I post on how you can scale after you get your first couple sales.